Have you ever noticed yourself doing something small, something most people don't even think about, and wondered, why am I like this? Not better, not worse, just different. Psychology suggests that some everyday behaviors aren't habits at all. They're signals, quiet indicators that your brain doesn't follow the usual mental blueprint. And here's the unsettling truth. Most people who have these traits never realize how differently their mind actually works. If you recognize yourself in more than one of these behaviors, you may never look at the way you think the same way again. Let's begin with one of the most misunderstood signs. Ordinary places feel overwhelming. Not chaos, not loud concerts or emergencies, but normal environments. A grocery store with humming freezers and squeaking carts. An office where the lights feel too bright and the air feels too loud. A room full of conversations where you somehow hear all of them at once. Psychologists link this to heightened sensory processing. Your brain doesn't filter information the way most people's brains do. Instead of dimming background noise, it lets everything in simultaneously. Imagine a soundboard where every single slider is pushed all the way up. This isn't weakness. Research shows this pattern often appears in people who are deeply perceptive, creative, or analytical. But there's a cost. Your mind is constantly scanning, evaluating, absorbing. That's why silence doesn't feel empty to you. It feels like relief. And that leads to the next sign. You think best when you're alone. Not lonely, not isolated, just alone. While others recharge through social energy, your clarity arrives in quiet moments. Late night walks, staring out a window, sitting still while doing nothing. Psychologists describe this as a deep internal cognitive style. Your thoughts aren't fast or shallow. They're layered. In silence, you replay conversations, not out of anxiety, but to understand them. You mentally simulate future outcomes. You question assumptions most people accept without noticing. To the outside world, this can look like distance, but internally, your mind is working at full speed, connecting dots others don't even see. And if that feels familiar, this next one might hit close to home. You replay conversations long after they end, not just the embarrassing ones. All of them. Your mind revisits words, tones, pauses, searching for meaning. But here's where it gets interesting. Because despite this reflection, there are moments when something completely different happens. You shift between total immersion and sudden detachment. Sometimes, you disappear into what you're doing. Hours pass without notice. The world fades. There's only the task, the idea, the creation. And then, suddenly, you pull back. You're no longer inside the moment. You're observing it, like a camera zooming out from a close-up to a wide shot, including yourself. Psychologists don't see this as a flaw. They call it meta-awareness. In simple terms, you don't just think, you think about how you're thinking. This ability is rare. It's why people with this pattern are often drawn to philosophy, strategy, art, or solving problems others avoid entirely. And if you've recognized yourself so far, this next sign may be one of the strongest of all. You question the normal life path. Timelines, career ladders, social expectations everyone else seems to follow automatically. You don't reject them, but you don't accept them blindly either. Every path is examined. Every rule is questioned. Psychologists call this independent cognitive framing. Your mind doesn't rely on social defaults. You build meaning from personal logic, not group consensus. This often makes others uncomfortable. They may call you too deep, difficult, or overly analytical, as if it's a choice. But the truth is simpler. Your brain isn't optimized for conformity. It never was. And finally, there's the hardest sign to explain. You feel slightly out of sync with the world. Not disconnected, not superior, just off rhythm. Like you're hearing the music a fraction of a beat earlier, or later, than everyone else. You sense things before they unfold. You process emotions deeply, but often after time has passed. You understand situations best only once you've stepped away from them completely. Psychologists refer to this as asynchronous processing. Your mind isn't slower or faster. It simply runs on a different timeline. This can feel isolating, but it's also why people like you are often the first to notice cracks in systems, the first to question assumptions, the first to see quiet truths others overlook. If you recognized yourself in these patterns, there's nothing broken about you. Your mind wasn't built for shortcuts. It wasn't built for surface-level thinking or easy answers. It was built to see more and feel more, even when that comes with weight. The real question isn't whether your mind works differently. It's whether you've learned how to live in a world that wasn't designed for it. If this felt personal, you're not alone. The quietest minds often carry the deepest thoughts. And if you want more psychology that goes beyond surface explanations, understanding your mind is the first step toward finally trusting it.